we there? Are we there? Of course, like, the minute you plan to go live, everybody in your phone book calls you and texts you and tries to get a hold of you. You're like, go away, I'm trying to go live. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes here, or a few seconds, I should say, to hop on, and then I'll make sure I'm live in the right group, because I'm notorious. There we are. I'm notorious for going live in the wrong groups. Pretty embarrassing. Depends on what you're talking about, I guess. But, hey Michelle! Oh, yay! My teammates are on. I freaking love them. I have the best team in the world. They are seriously one of a kind. But I'm so honored to be here this morning talking with you guys. I am going to be covering some of my top tips for making challenge groups the bread and butter of your business, as well as how to kind of look at the upcoming new year and also look at right now to make sure that you absolutely dominate 2017. So I did just post, and I got a few of your answers with my question. I wanted to know what the biggest objections are that you hear. And it was an overwhelming answer, and I'll get into why I wanted to know all that in a few seconds. But for those of you that don't know me, I'm Sarah Gaub, and I am, I don't even know what rank I am. That doesn't matter. I don't that stuff's not important to me. I actually just posted in my leaders page about how rank doesn't define you. Rank does not define your leadership. It doesn't define who you are or how successful you are. So, who cares about any of that? I'm Sarah, that's all you need to know, and let's just dive right in, okay? So I have some awesome stuff I want to share with you guys this morning. Hey, Kelly! Allie! What's up? All right, don't distract me. All right, okay, so I'm going to look at my notes, and I'll look at you guys later. So the first thing I wanted to share with you guys is that sales go up and down, but service lasts forever. Remember that. Sales go up and down, and service lasts forever. If you are so focused on what's happening right now or what is not happening right now, you're focusing on the sale and you're not focusing on the service. Okay? So with that, I want you to remember that in your challenge groups, we don't deliver a product, right? We deliver an experience. So that is truly what I want you guys to remember when you're thinking about how you're running your challenge groups. You're not there to just supply them Shakeology or just supply them a program. You're there to supply them a life-changing freaking experience. And if the experience you're not delivering is not adequate, it's not helping them meet their goals, it's not helping them change their life, then that service is missing. And you're focusing on the sale. You need to switch and focus on the service, okay? So remember that. Take a good look right now at how your challenge groups are reflecting that experience, because that's what is going to impact them lifelong, right? Okay, so, and if you don't have any challengers, that's okay, because what experience are you giving yourself? Remember when Carl at Summit, those of you that weren't there, he brought out that binder. It was like a 5-inch binder just full of before and after photos, right? And he's like, this is amazing. This is an amazing testament to our products, to our company, all of that stuff. But the very first page is you. So if you're listening right now and you maybe don't have any challengers or anything like that, what experience are you giving yourself? Because if you're not giving yourself an experience that you are so fired up to share about, that you are so passionate about, that you believe deep down to your core, no one else is going to believe it anyways. So you have to give yourself that experience first. And quit the whining, quit the crap about, I don't have an upline, I don't have this, I don't have this. Give it to yourself. You're smart enough to be here, to be your own CEO, so figure it out. We are so blessed to have so many resources that help you, and it doesn't matter if you don't have an upline or you don't have any coaches or you don't have any challengers. Start with you. Maybe that's why, take a minute to self-reflect and look at what you're doing and utilize the resources that you do have. This page is chock full of some of my favorite mentors and the entire company, and we are always willing to help each other. That's what this That's my favorite part about this company, actually. So reach out and just start, put that excuse aside and start. So what I personally do with my challenge groups, I do a mix of the challenge tracker app and a mix of Facebook groups. So what I want you guys to realize today is kind of like what I just went on a tangent about. Don't focus on what everybody else is doing. Focus on what works for you. So because someone that you look up to uses a challenge tracker app and says that it's the best thing in the world, doesn't mean that it has to work for you. If it's not what your customers need or want, maybe it's not right for right now in your business. Same thing goes with Facebook groups. If that's working great for me, don't force it upon yourself to make it work for you. You have to do what meshes with, first of all, what you enjoy, because that ultimately what it comes down to. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's not going to work. But also what your challengers and your customers need. So I do a mix of both. So what I personally do is I keep my Facebook group. It's a larger group and it rotates every single month. It's just a bland title. I call it Fit Forward. That's my team name, Program Support. And every single month it rotates the same posts over and over. And I'll switch a template out here and there, but we start the first Monday of every month like clockwork. My challengers in there know that they are going to see some repeat stuff, and they're welcome to stay. And they're welcome to leave. Whatever serves them, that is the group I put everybody in. It's nice to have that group because if I get someone starting midway through the month, I have somewhere to put them right away. There's files in there, there's resources, there's daily support, the drill. And then my challenge tracker app groups are my more focused niche related groups. So like if I'm doing a group specifically for moms, I keep them separate. Or maybe I'm doing a couples challenge and I'll keep them separate on the tracker app. So it's more private and cozy and an intimate setting, and not like Facebook. And then they have a strict start date and a strict end date. And that is what I think works best for me right now in my business. That hasn't always been that way. So like I said, adjust to what works for you. But I wanted to share my kind of system of how I make that work. So what I would suggest to do to try to figure out what works for you is to know how they function best. And you have to I know it sucks and it would be amazing if we all could do this, but newsflash, we are not mind readers. We can't read each other's minds. Our coaches, our customers, our freaking spouses, our kids, nobody. We just can't. It just doesn't work like that. So you have to ask. You have to ask them what they need. How can I serve you best? How can I make this so successful for you? How do you learn? How are you motivated? How do you stay accountable? What can I do as your coach to make sure we get you to where you want to go, right? You have to ask them. So that's the first step, is asking them what they need and then going from there. Sometimes people will hate Facebook groups, and that's when I'll put them in a challenge tracker app. Some people are really technology impaired and the Facebook group works better. Or maybe neither will work and they prefer me checking in on them via text once a week and sending emails. I use Streak for all my emails, Google Streak, and so that's great. I can set them up on a system and check in every other day without me physically having to do it, but then they know that I'm there thinking about them and cheering them along. So I think that's truly where it starts, is figuring out what makes them tick. And calling them out, keeping that conversation going. I've had so many people in my groups that are flies on the wall and they don't say anything, and I'll check in with them and they're like, yeah, I know I don't participate, but I absolutely love this group. It keeps me going. So just because you might think they're not getting something out of it, it doesn't mean that that's actually what's happening. So dive in and dig a little deeper and just feel free to ask them what they need, okay? But do not dare ask them what they need and do not follow up on it, okay? That is the worst thing. If you're not going to take what they tell you and put it into action, don't bother asking, okay? Just like when you ask your coach or a mentor or somebody that you look up to in this business what you can do differently to propel your business, and then you don't do it, why do you even ask? Why are you going to ask if you're not going to be teachable? Why would you ask your clients and your customers what they need if you're not going to provide? don't taint your business by doing your customers a disservice, okay? That's the number one thing. If you're going to ask them, make sure you're going to follow through. And to a realistic extent, you have to have boundaries, right? They can't tell you, I need you to call me every day at 5 a.m. Sorry, don't have time for that. And that's not my job to handhold and butt wipe, you know? Like, that's not what we are as coaches. So you have to set boundaries, but again, trying to make it work with what works for them. Okay, so moving along. Then I wanted to tell you guys that one of the ways that I love to kind of make my challenge groups the bread and butter is by the best coaches are the rock star challengers. We all know that. They're passionate about the product. They're not going in. They love their Shakeology. They see the value in all this. We don't have to do that pulling along, right? We don't have to dig through all those objections because they're already there. So what I love to do is cheer them on, and just like you shout out your coaches. So I do like bi-weekly or weekly challenger spotlights where I really like lift them up and I thank them for their participation, and I use words that define a coach. I tell them, thank you for your support and encouragement. You're a true leader. You are so helpful in this group. You are so inspirational. All those words that define a coach, you're planting in their head as you're cheering them along, right? So then when the opportunity arises for you at the end of your challenge group to invite them into this opportunity and tell them that they make a perfect coach because of all of these reasons that you've been cheering them along the entire month, it's going to make sense to them. It's not going to come out of the blue of someone who's never mentioned this before saying, hey, by the way, I got a new mentorship group starting in 5 days. You should join. They've been feeding on this idea all month long as you've been cheering them along and telling them all of these qualities that they're doing that is going to make an amazing coach. So when the offer is presented on the table, it's just natural, right? And then I wanted to step back and kind of touch on what I was telling you guys, what I was asking those objection reasons for. So with that, I think you have to truly take a step back, you guys, and look at, the overwhelming answer for objections that I asked was cost, all right? And I know we all hate talking about money, but here's where you need to do a little self-reflection. If you are getting the same objection over and over and over and over, and it's overwhelming in the group, the answer is usually always cost. What are you doing that is maybe feeding into that, or maybe not unfolding that objection more? Your newsfeed should speak to that objection so loud and clear. If that is the objection that you get, how are you stomping that objection out? Because if you're not, you're just going to get more of it. And you can do it in your challenge groups too. Remind them after they've made that purchase why they're here. Remind them of that value. Call people out, you guys. When you are in the Starbucks drive-thru, which I know y'all go to almost every day, if you're anything like me, make a post about it. And I'll say, maybe once a month I'll talk about how I didn't always used to get a weekly Starbucks because I was saving for my Shakeology. Maybe if you eat a protein bar or something like that, they're like $3 a bar. Hello, drink some Shakeology instead. And call people out on those things and talk about how, don't call people out specifically and tag their names. That's rude. But like if you're at the gas station, maybe be like, hey, I just left the gas station today and I was just in awe of the counter of candy that the person in front of me had, the $3 soda, the $2 candy bar, and the $3 bag of chips. Like that's a huge meal that's not nutritionally dense, and yet people won't spend the money on something that can change their life forever. That's a breadcrumb that's speaking to your objection. Does that make sense? I hope so. So that's what I really want you to start thinking about when you're speaking in your posts and you're speaking in your challenge group. So before they join, speak to that objection like I was talking about with those types of breadcrumbs, showing the value, showing why it's worth it. Because if they don't see the value, you're always going to get a price objection. So do a little gut check and see how you're explaining the value, because you might need to tweak a little bit of things to make sure that they actually get it, right? And some people just won't, and that's fine. You move along. But then in your groups, make sure you reward them for making that decision and that investment and letting them see their value even after the purchase, okay? So, and then my last tip for a challenge group is to keep it consistent. Like I said, in my rotating group, they know the same thing is going to start over every single first Monday of the month. It's always consistent. I'm not saying, hey, I got a challenge group starting this day of this month. They just know. They know. It's the first Monday of every month. It's like clockwork. They know they get weekly emails from me. They know they're going to get once a week check-ins. They know they're going to get a personal message, and they know that they're not going to move forward unless they send me their before and afters, which I do not open to respect their privacy, but I do not give them the link to enter my group until they've done it. Now, why do I do that? Because, you guys, going back to that binder at the beginning, I'm going to go way over on time. Sorry, guys, I'm just fired up and I love this freaking job. So, I was like, 8 minutes, really? I don't know if you know who I am. I can't stop talking in 8 minutes, but I'll try. Okay, so then why I want you guys to do that and why I do that is because I want your goal for 2017 to create your binder. Okay, like that binder that Carl said with all those before and afters, that needs to be your driver for 2017. You need to make that your goal to fill that binder up, you guys. And you're not going to fill a binder if you don't have people sending you their before and afters, if you don't have a group that provides encouragement and accountability and all of the things that they're telling you that they need. You're not going to get a binder. Okay? And you need to do that. That needs to be your focus, helping those people get in your book. But the first page has to start with you. Okay? So that's why I do that. And then a few tiny little quick tips to get your mind right to end the year. So remember, this is a ROI business, return on investment. That means what you are doing right this second, you are going to pay off in 3-4 months down the road, not right now. This is not a quick fix business. You all should know that by now. So we have to build that strong foundation by what we're doing right now. You know, think about when you eat a cheat meal and you feel like garbage for about 2 days after that, and then all of a sudden you fall off for a week, and then you only fell off for a week, but it takes 3 months to get back to where you were. That's kind of like how it is in this business, you guys. 1 day turns into 1 week, turns into 1 month, and you might have only slacked a little bit in your PD or maybe a workout here and there or whatever it might be, but it's going to take you months to recoup that trust that you lost in your audience, months to recoup that momentum. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Why would you stop doing the things that you know you should be doing right now that are going to give you that best return on investment later? You're only setting yourself up to start 2017 making headway for the mistakes you've made and the choices that you made to slack off and to stop doing the vital things in the last 2 or 3 months, right? So why would you start January working to get to where you were in November when you can start January as a catapult to where you want to end next December? Okay? So I love this quote. What feels like the end is often the beginning. Okay? 2016 is not the end to a year. It's actually the beginning to 2017. The actions you're doing now, consciously and subconsciously, are going to be the habits that you begin to build on the new year. Take a very good look at what you are doing and who you are right this very moment. I want you to make the waking conscious choice to take steps to make yourself be a better leader so that you can be the absolute best coach possible before 2017 starts. Don't wait till 2017. Do it now. Enter the new year as that person that you want to be, as that person you're striving to be. Don't wait. You have the choice right this moment to embrace that and to make changes and to, you can either stay on this road of it's been a really rocky year for me personally. But I can choose to stay on that road full of bumps and detours and roadblocks, or I can choose to get off and get on my own highway to where I want to go in my goals, all right? So make it a goal for 2017. Last tidbit, please don't expect anything in return. Whatever you do, don't do something in this business because you want something in return. You will not be successful if you do that. I can promise you that, okay? You should be doing this job the exact same right this second as you would if we got no commission, if we got no income, if we got no trips, if we got no bonuses, no special gifts, none of that. Your actions should be the exact same in both scenarios. And if they're not, you need to reevaluate why you're doing this, because that shows to your customers, that shows to your following, that shows to your audience, okay? So if you're not passionate about just truly helping other people and making a difference, nothing else is going to matter anyways. So I love you guys so much, and I'm sorry for going over on the time. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope that you love coaching as much as I do. I hope that you see truly what a life-changing opportunity this is. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them. I'll check the comments later, but thank you for all your love and tuning in, and have a good day.